you want to be serious with this or not? Do you want to have like an actual band? And then we had to boot out our dad, and then nobody's around us to sing, so I had to pick that up.
Well, last week was a very fun episode, Moxy. How you feeling this week?
Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
Yes.
Oh, what are you asking me here?
Yes.
No.
Here's something kind of fun. We're still trying to figure out the format of the show and how to start this thing out a little bit. So this might be the last time we do this awkward, random jump into just a random conversation. But I do have something that I want to talk about here real quick. Something that grinds my gears. It really annoys me, Moxy. And this is something that I think we can both get behind.
What is it?
I hate going to restaurants and ordering onion rings. And
I would hate that too. That is just my biggest pet peeve, man.
And they bring you onion rings. And when you bite into them,
that's the worst.
You're annoying.
Welcome to the club.
When they bring you the onion rings and you bite into it, the entire onion comes, like you pull it apart and the whole onion comes out of the onion ring. And then you're left with a half-cooked onion in one hand and deep fried batter on the other hand. It drives me crazy, Moxy.
See, I don't really mind that so much because I like onions. I like fried stuff. If I eat it together or separately, it really doesn't make that much of a difference to me.
So now here's the thing though. When you order an onion ring, you want the onion around the fried stuff. And so
No. You want the fried stuff around the onion.
Same thing, different concept. Same thing.
That's not at all the same thing. It's like completely different. If you had an onion ring made of fried stuff surrounded by onion, first of all, it wouldn't even hold together because that doesn't make any sense. But second of all, you wouldn't have this issue because how would you even fry it? Unless it's like a twice fried onion ring. That's what we're talking about. In which case, if it were a twice fried onion ring, I mean, I could be talked into that.
I am trying to make a point here.
Well, make it better.
I'll make it better by kicking you out of the stream. How about that? So basically, the whole point of this was I went to a restaurant over the weekend that gave me the perfect onion ring.
Ooh.
An onion ring where you bite into it and and it just severs. Like the onion doesn't come out of the fried stuff. It's a perfectly cooked onion ring. And
what was this restaurant?
It's a place out in Tehachapi. And so my challenge to restaurateurs everywhere, restaurateurs?
Yes.
Restaurateurs. The musketeers of restaurants. The chefs out there, the people who cook at restaurants, do a better job at cooking your onion rings.
Yeah.
All right. Moxy, it's time for something good.
All right, here we go. So this week's something good is it comes from an article from a website called Quartz at Work. And this one especially this made my heart really happy this week. The title of this article is 20,000 honeybees took over a tech company's empty office during lockdown. And this made me especially happy. I wasn't able to read the entire article because you have to become a member of this website in order to read it. But
okay, real quick, that also grinds my gears.
That does.
When when a headline just grabs your attention and you're like, okay, I can get behind this, and you read it and you make one scroll after like half a paragraph, and it's like, to continue reading, you need to pay $17 a year, and you're like, no.
Yeah. So what I get from what little I can read of this article is that this happened in Santa Barbara, California, in a 3-story headquarters of Invoca, which is an artificial intelligence software company. And the building's been empty since March. And it looks like 20,000 honeybees actually took up residence in this office and were just discovered recently. Ruben, do you think that they were hard at work or just, kind of lazing around? Because I think if they were in an office,
I believe that they were probably just chilling out. I don't think they really had anything to do, especially since the supervisor wasn't there. And, it was. I mean, it's like Weekend at Bernie's, except in the office.
So thankfully,
maybe Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Maybe that's the one that should go. Maybe Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and not Weekend at Bernie's.
Possibly. So the good news is they were alerted to the news of the bees when they saw some dead ones, and somebody kept coming back. A workplace manager. She went back in April, like a long time ago, to check up after a windstorm, and she found a couple of dead bees and figured that they had just gotten inside. And then she went back a week later. There were more bees, and then she didn't see any live ones. So months passed. She keeps seeing the bees near the entrance. She searches the building looking for evidence of a nest, and finally gave up in January. And then she called a local company, Super Bee Rescue and Removal. And good news, they were able to remove the bees without killing any of them. And these bees are no longer hard at work in an office. They are now safe in a place where they can be bees.
I wonder if bees break into offices to go on vacation.
That would be ironic, right? Like we go to where bees are to go on vacation, and then bees go to where we work to not be on vacation.
Interesting. I think that's a concept that we need to work on it a little bit more.
I think that we should dress up as bees and pretend to work in an office.
No.
I think we should make that happen.
No.
If you think that this should happen, you need to comment on our most recent Instagram post and tell us that we need to dress up as bees for a YouTube skit.
No.
Yes, this is happening.
Nope. I veto it immediately. $1
Veto a lot. .com.
Wow, you're so late on that one.
Oh my gosh. It's fine. It's fine.
$.com. So late. And that's or something good.
The following is a podcast about life.
Apparently.
I can't not listen to music.
Friendship and tacos.
Let me tell you this, dropping a taco is a national emergency.
This is You're My Best Friend. Now here are your hosts, Moxy and Ruben Jay.
Welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. Did I scare you there, Mox?
A little bit. You were so loud.
My name is Ruben Jay.
And I'm Moxy Ann.
And I am super excited to be coming to you guys live, pre-recorded on a podcast.
On Monday morning, it's You're My Best Friend. I've been getting really into SNL skits lately.
Why? They're so trash.
Pre-recorded from Monday morning, it's You're My Best Friend.
I want to give a quick shout out to somebody who commented. They sent me an email and commented on our latest video and our latest episode where I talked about the fact that there are no good tacos in Fresno.
Oof.
And when I was talking about it, I said something along the lines of if you put too much protein, if you put not enough protein or too little protein, and realized in the middle of that that was
the same thing.
That was the same thing. Anyway, so she replied, this is Sabrina. So shout out to Sabrina. She says, bro, what do you mean about too much protein? There's not enough fried tofu on your tacos. So
burn, man.
So I don't know what her problem is that she wants to bring up tofu and tacos. But I want to give her a shout out and thank her for listening to at least a part of the podcast. And if you would like for us to read one of your comments on our podcast, make sure to leave a comment on any of our posts, any of our video clips. Leave a comment on Apple Podcasts or YouTube, where we will watch it. We'll read it. And if we like it, we'll read it on the air.
Ruben, would you eat a tofu taco? Tofu taco. Say that 5 times fast.
Tofu taco, 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 tofu taco. Tofu taco, tofu taco, tofu taco, tofu taco. That wasn't that hard.
It was hard for me. Okay.
I would consider it. I think that if we can get 10 people to sign up for any of our tiers over at $1inthejar.com in the next 20-ish days before now and the last day of February, I will make a video exclusively for our $1inthejar.com people. I screwed that one up. Of me tasting different styles of tofu tacos.
I would love that.
So
but
head
only
over.
I'm not doing it.
No, Mox will do it too. Head over to $1inthejar.com and sign up for any of our tiers. If we can get 10 people to sign up between now and the last day of February, or if we can get 3 people to sign up for an annual membership of our executive producer credit, I will do it.
All right. Well, there you go. You heard it here, folks.
We're having a rough day, guys. It's been a day. It's been a day.
Oh man.
Speaking of $1inthejar.com, Moxy, why don't you tell people about our Amazon link?
Okay, so if you wanted to sign up to help us out by going to $1inthejar.com, but you don't have any extra cash to spare, you're spending it all on your monthly essentials, your personal purchases, things like that, that's okay, because we have another way for you to support us. And if you've been a regular listener of the podcast, you will have heard about this one previously. But basically, the way the Amazon partnership link works, you're going to go down to the description, link down below, and click on the Amazon link. It says like support us by shopping on, I don't know what it says. I wrote it. I don't remember what it says, but you're going to go click it. And what you do basically is you just click that link. And then whenever you buy something on Amazon, click that link to get started and go from there and just buy things as normal. Just make your purchases. What that's going to do is it's going to send us 10% of whatever it is you're purchasing. It's not going to cost you anything extra. It doesn't cost us anything. Really, it's just taking money away from Jeff Bezos, except Jeff Bezos is stepping down. So, it's another new person to take money away from. And
Jeff Bezos still owns part of Amazon, though, so it's still taking money away from Jeff Bezos.
Perfect. So head on over to our
Why do you hate Jeff Bezos? What did he ever do to you?
I don't hate Jeff Bezos. Everyone else hates Jeff Bezos. I'm just trying to jump on the bandwagon.
But you don't hate anybody.
That's what you think. So go down to our description, click that Amazon link. And what I did is I actually set it as a bookmark at the top of my Chrome browser. And anytime I need to go to Amazon, I just click that link and I get started. In fact, what I do is I do my research. I figure out what I'm going to buy, add it to the cart, and then I close out the tab, click the Amazon link that I have bookmarked up in the top bar, and then I purchase from there. And that is the best way to make sure that you are supporting the podcast with whatever money you have. I mean, really, go buy yourself a nice Valentine's Day gift or something.
You deserve it, girl.
Yeah. Go you. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on here. Hey, so last week's episode was pretty fun. We had some great feedback from it. What did you think of our conversation with Jason Lotman? Other than the fact he spelled his name wrong in all of our documents.
How did I spell it?
With one N.
Oh.
There's 2 N's in Lotman.
There are?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know this?
I sent him the link with the misspelled name and then saw his name in his messenger. I was like, oh, there's 2 N's in your last name. He goes, yep.
Oh no. Yeah.
Usually I'm the one who makes that type of mistake.
I've been friends with Jason for so long. Hold on. I have to verify this. I don't believe this. Oh my gosh. How did I miss that? Holy crap.
To be fair, I also missed it, but it literally wasn't until it was in my face that I realized, oh, we spelled his name wrong.
Yikes. That is awful. I really enjoyed our conversation with Jason last week. It was really fun to listen through. And I just loved, the guy is a real, you think of somebody who hustles, you think of somebody who works their butt off. That's Jason. And not only does he work his butt off, but he figures out how to do it in such a way that's profitable, in a way that makes sense, in a way that helps other people and that allows other people to have a great time. I loved that conversation. I feel like I learned a lot from it. Ruben, how did you feel about it?
I'm just happy that he gave us tickets to the Gatsby party for us and guest. So I'll be taking Brad.
And I will also be taking Brad.
So does that make this a 3-way date?
I'm just saying, I'm the one with a ring.
I mean, he proposed to me too.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Yep, I got a ring to prove it. Got a ring to prove it.
To propose with me, to me, doesn't count.
Wait, what?
Practicing to propose to me doesn't count.
Well, he also asked me to be his best man. So
he did not do that either.
He also asked me to officiate the wedding.
That is not.
He also asked me to be the caterer, as well as be the head usher. So it's gonna be a very busy day for me.
Hey, will you also DJ?
No, that's where I crossed the line. That's where I put my foot. I crossed the line and put my foot down. I'm super excited for this week's episode. I'm super excited for this week's guest, Moxy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. He was so great.
It was incredible talking to this guy, and I think you are going to enjoy this conversation with the lead singer of the band Electric Hound. Please welcome to the show. Well, actually, I introduced him after this clip, so just keep listening and you'll find out who's on the show. His name's Ted. He's a good guy.
Ted Mosby?
I wish. Wait, hold on.
Yikes.
Anyway, play the clip. Play the clip, producer man. Play the clip. All right, Moxy, how you doing?
I am doing.
Oh, we're going with the green lights.
Yeah.
The lights change in the middle of
Made that decision about 2 seconds before we turned the camera on.
It was an interesting.
You want a different color?
No, it doesn't matter to me. Just my mood was blue, and then it turned to green.
Blue dabba dee dabba die.
Yeah, but apparently I'm green, so I'm gonna die.
Oh.
Anyway, that's what happens when you change things on me last minute. Moxy, I'm super excited for this guest.
I am too. Why are you excited?
I'm excited because I really like their new song. And I'm excited to dive into that with him here in just a second. But I'm also excited to talk to somebody who is not just a musician, but also an overall creative. This guy is super creative. One of our last sets of photos, this guy actually took for us in the middle of COVID, and we're outside, so it doesn't really matter. But super excited. Please welcome the lead singer of the band, the Electric Hounds, Mr. Ted Cendejas.
Wow.
I totally put you. I was so prepared.
You ramped up for it too.
Yeah, and then I was like, nope. I abort mission. Ted Cendejas.
Yeah, that's me.
Ted, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're doing well.
We're staying alive, man. And I'm really excited to have you on the show, man. So welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Let's start out. I'm going to go back. I know we're on here to talk about your new music project, but I do want to talk about your photography as well, because you are an incredible photographer. Some of the photos that you got for us a couple months back are just absolutely incredible, super artistic. So my question, just kind of get this thing started, is what do you prefer more, photography or music?
Right now, I'm more or less focused on music. Photography is just probably one of my second passions, but right now music is the main one. Just jumping back into it for the new year, I guess.
Yeah. It's been a tough year for musicians. Just having the resources to get everything out, and I know live performance was a huge aspect of what you guys did, what you guys have been doing for years. Yeah. So I'm really excited to talk with you about what you guys are working on for the new year, and what you're excited about.
Yeah, more or less. It's just been focusing mainly on music, more or less. I don't really know where to begin with that sort of stuff, because everything with the new year, with all COVID still sticking around, it's more or less just up in the air with everything. So we're just trying to do as much as I can, to be honest, just to stay busy and stay as creative as possible.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just point out something real quick?
Oh no.
Sure.
I think I think he and I have the same hair.
I Are you guys chair twinsies?
We are. We are. And my hair is halfway the same level that his is. So I'm just trying to be Ted. I'm just trying to be Ted.
But, you got to grow it out.
I did once and everyone hated it. So I had to cut it back again. But let's start with the music, man. Electric Hounds, you have a new, is it an EP technically, or is it just a single?
I guess it's considered an EP since it's 2 songs. I figure it's just an EP more or less, but I guess you can call it an LP EP, but that's what it is. Just our new debut EP for these 2 songs.
It's called Dance of the Dogs. And I'm curious, man, because I listened to this and I listened to some of the other stuff, and I hear a lot of AC/DC, like 80s rock in this. Who inspired this? Like, other than just yourselves, obviously, but what were you listening to when you wrote the song?
Oh, that's actually pretty funny because it came from like an exercise scale, because I'm pretty sure Moxy's familiar with this, like scales.
Yeah.
But it usually breaks down in like a E minor, just a descending scale. But originally it broke it down from an old riff from Thin Lizzy. It's somewhere in the Emerald. It's like right there in the chorus, right before the breakdown of the guitars. It's that descending lick coming back down. So I used to just play it before rehearsals and before live shows all the time. And then more or less it just stuck in my head, and I just played it rehearsal, and they're like, "Hey, stop that. What'd you do?" And it stuck. And next thing you know, it came out to be a song.
That's awesome. That is so cool. I love it when something like when a song just comes out of nowhere. Do you ever feel like songs sometimes write themselves?
Yeah, for that one, yeah, because it's been stuck in my like repertoire for warm-ups for like since I started playing. So it just came out of nowhere, and it pretty much just did write itself. It was written before I had it, so more or less I just take it from him.
Yeah, that sounds like a very, very much like the story behind Sweet Child of Mine, where Slash, that opening riff was a warm up. What Slash used to play to warm up, and I guess in rehearsal one day they were just kind of doing that, and Axl started singing. Did I say Axl or Axl? I don't remember.
It's same thing.
It's one of the same. So I really enjoyed this song. It really brought me back to listening to some of that old classic rock. What do you hope people who download it and get out of the song other than just a badass song?
On my end, yeah. I guess that's pretty much more or less what it's going to be. But I always just write to get people to get out of their headset, just to entertain them for as much as I can. And that's pretty much it for that song. I never really give away any meanings for what I'm writing when I put that song out, because for me, when I hear songs, I like to give the songs their own meaning. But if I write something and I give it away right away, then I take that and strip that meaning from them that they could possibly take up. So I really like to just keep that alone on that one, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. I think it's important to allow your audience to kind of get their own emotional connection with the music that you put out, because I feel like that helps give the song a different life, and a lot of artists are like that. And also, I also like knowing what people were thinking about when they wrote the record too, because I kind of like to compare, like, oh, I think this song is about this, and they're like, no, this is what I wrote it about. It's really really fun story. What's your writing technique? Like, how do you, because you're a bass player for the band as well, so how do you come up with the songs, and tell me a little bit more about the writing process for you.
What we'll usually do is I'll usually pick up a riff, or our guitar player George will pick up a riff and just start playing, and then we'll just kind of like jam along just to see how and get the feel for the vibe of the song. But usually how we work is we like to make songs as big as possible, the big intros. If you can really feel it for like the first maybe 10 seconds, then you got a hook right there. Mm-hmm. But from there, we'll usually pick up drums, and then as soon as we start constructing the song, getting the rhythm and basically the overall structure, we'll write it down, record it, and then from there I just take it and spend like, whether it be an hour with the lyrics, or sometimes it takes a couple weeks, and it'll just more or less just create itself from that point, because lyrics are pretty much like the hardest part, I think, in writing the song.
Yeah, it can be so difficult, like you were saying. And I think that there is really a beauty in your technique behind it of letting people, like, just giving them the song and letting them identify with it in their own way. I feel like there aren't a lot of musicians who make that their practice anymore.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, it's just because like I see like a lot of musicians and they just like give out the meaning right away, and that's really cool on their own end. But for me, I've always grew up with songs that like I didn't know what they meant at first, and I'd have to find a deeper meaning in myself. And then years later, when they're like 60, 70, they'll be, oh, that song was about this, or this song was about this time in my life, and it completely destroys my freaking reality of what the song was to me. So I usually like to just keep people give their own meanings, really.
Yeah, yeah. And that, I think, especially right now when there's like so much in our environment and our society that's like pushing other people's opinions onto other people, like that's so important right now for music to be able to find your own meaning in it and to be able to find solace in somebody else's music and what they've created. I love your guys' sound, and I love that I can listen to it and not like, not in a bad way, not that you can't analyze it, but like, because it's musically genius, but also I can just listen to it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's just the goal. Is I like to just entertain people with my songs. I like to just put on a show, even live. Well, when we used to play shows, more or less, it would just be to entertain as much as possible. Because if you left them unentertained, then really, what's the point of them going out to the show?
Yeah.
That's always been like a big goal for mine. It's just to either entertain them with the song and have them connect a memory with it, or just give them a really, really cool show. That way they can remember, like, oh, remember that band, or hey, did you see that opener? Or I caught their show for that one. I just like to be that guy that delivers the show and makes it really, really cool. So it can take them out of their head for like their usual day job just to throw me into it.
Now, here's the thing that I have, an issue that I have with, and I think it's more of an issue now than it ever has been, is, you know, when you allow people to kind of come up with their own concept for what a song is about, and then you have your own personal reason, then you bring in somebody else who helps you put together a concept music video.
Yeah.
And a completely third thing, and everyone's just like, what? This has nothing to do with the song. And I know you guys are working on a music video as well.
Yeah.
What type of music video are you planning on releasing? Is it more of a concept, video, or is it more of like a performance video? Like, what's your goal with your guys' upcoming music video that I just saw you guys were producing recently?
Well, more. I think we are in the middle of like a rebrand. I kind of want to give it that name, but it's going to be a performance one, and it's really what I see as capturing the band as a whole, and like what we usually would give it in a performance. I want to get that through their music video. But like you said, like when you see like bands that have like random music videos, I've just been watching a ton of those all day today. Just like have you heard of a band like Post Animal and like White Reaper and all that?
Yeah.
Those guys have like the coolest music videos, and like it's just so crazy.
I know, yeah. Brad is crazy about White Reaper. I've seen some of their stuff. It's really cool.
They have amazing hooks. That's ever since like we caught them in March somewhere in Pomona, and that show single-handedly just changed my whole musical lifestyle right around that.
Yeah.
Amazing band.
Amazing.
Well, before we get any further, that was really awkward. I don't know what's up with her. All of a sudden, she's trying to like produce me and try to tell me what to do. I don't like it.
It's like I know what I'm doing or something.
And then you just make it awkward. But before we jump into anything further, it is time for signature question numero uno. So Moxy, take it away.
All right, Ted. So signature question number one. It's the first of three.
Numero uno.
Okay.
It is the first of tres, and it is probably the easiest, but we have guests who say different things. So, your question number one: what is your favorite taco?
Oh, it's got to be probably a fish taco. Number one, always, hands down.
Anywhere in particular, or a certain region? Because I know, like for me, if I'm like in a mood for like a really good fish taco, I got to go down to San Diego. Is there anything that you love, a place that you love a good fish taco from?
Not really. It's really kind of hard to find like vegan fish tacos because I myself am vegan. I don't know, is vegan, but it's kind of hard to find like good fish flavored stuff that's like that's homemade rather than just like cut out of a bag and just thrown onto like a skillet and serves you to that way. But anything that's fish flavored, even like tofu, it's really, really good. I really don't have a preference for places. I like to experiment and just see what tastes good.
You know, what I would love to do at some point, I saw a video of you and BB, I think, making some sort of tofu thing, and it looked good. It looked good. Whatever you guys made looked really good. I just couldn't, like, I personally cannot come to the point where I'm eating tofu. Like, even in miso soup, I'll drink the soup and leave the tofu. But I
what kind of animal are you?
I'm not a vegan. That's, you know, and
you don't have to be a vegan to like tofu.
I'm not sure about that, but what I was going to say is, you know, I would love to at some point try some of this vegan food. Maybe we can make a video out of it or something at some point in the near future when COVID is hopefully under some sort of control.
Well, a place that has really good vegan food, if you're ever in like Huntington Beach, try Vegan Nirvana. They have some of the greatest food like ever. That's like summertime food. It's perfect when you're by the beach.
What is it called?
It's called Vegan Nirvana.
Vegan Nirvana.
Is that down in Huntington? Did you say Huntington?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny is I had a friend who wanted me to try some vegan food, and that's the place that they wanted to go to. We ended up going to a Mexican restaurant nearby there, so I was able to win that one. But let's talk more about the band Electric Hounds. Go follow them on social media, everybody. I'm curious about the name, because Electric Hound is a great band name. Tell me a little bit more about how the band came together and how you guys picked that name for the band.
Well, me and the guys have been playing, well, the guys as in my other two brothers, we've been playing since we first picked up instruments since like 2006. We've been playing since then, but we just wanted to get more serious with everything. And as time developed, like sometime around 2010, we were playing with our dad in bars and just like stuff with our other band. And then finally it got to the point where it was like, hey, do you want to be serious with this or not? Do you want to have like an actual band? And then we had to boot out our dad, and then nobody's around us to sing. So I had to pick that up. And from there, it just pretty much, hey, we got a show lined up. We need a new name. So we happened to catch at the Cult in, I think it was in Hollywood, right there at the House of Blues. And it was one of those shows where it's like, it changes your life and you think the Cult's like the greatest band ever. So we love their electric tour, but then we had like, I think like 13 dogs, 14, 15 dogs at the time. So it was like, hey, let's just combine Electric Hound. And that was the only name that didn't have a copyright on it. So we're like, hey, let's just run with it. And that just stuck, and it's still our name.
So I didn't know more about this dynamic with you kicking your dad out of the band.
I was gonna say, like, usually, I mean, there's always drama within a band, but that really feels like it has potential to be something serious.
Yeah, I mean, how are holidays?
They're always tense ever since that. And it's just, the anniversary just kicks back in. It's like you can see the hate in his eyes. No, but he's very supportive of everything, and it just got to the point where he was just busy with work and everything, and we just really wanted to pursue our musical career and just try to get as far as we can. So it's just stuck with that.
That's awesome. And I have no idea of the family dynamic, but it's got to be hard on your mom to have 3 boys who play in a rock band.
Yeah, there's a lot of testosterone just surrounding us 3.
But probably made getting to band practice a lot easier, though. I know that's usually the hard part about having a band is getting band practice.
Yeah, that's usually the main one that I hear about other bands, because obviously I've never played in any other band besides my own. But I hear like horror stories of like bands just showing up and the singer doesn't show up, or the bass player doesn't show up, or the guy shows up drunk, or they just can't even find time to rehearse at all because everybody obviously works. But I guess I'm just very lucky at the time just to have and be playing with my 2 brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. Besides that obvious, the ease of being able to rehearse, what are some of the other great things about being in a band with your family?
We all know what we're feeling, and I guess we all can kind of talk in our brains. Like if there's like I don't know if you've had like one of those show weirdos where they just like continue to ramble on, or like one of those drunk guys that just continues to talk, or it's just giving you like a weird vibe. Like they either want to fight you or just want to linger around or might steal your stuff, we can kind of just like play off each other just by the look of our eyes, or just kind of feel out the vibe. And we have like our own hand signals and when to pull each other away from everything. So it's just really cool that we can kind of read each other.
That is cool. That's really cool. My uncle is in a band as well, and they had a secret code when back in the 90s, I think they had a code for whenever there was a fan like talking too long, or they needed to get away, or it was just too much. One of them would yell to the other guys and go like, "Hey, Greg, is there a Waffle House nearby?" And everybody knew as soon as they said Waffle House, that was the code.
Was there ever a Waffle House nearby?
For most of our shows, no, it's usually just, hey, you want a drink? And then, yeah, let me go grab one. Hey, I'll be right back. Let me go get some cables from the car. Or, hey, I forgot my mic. Or, did you leave something on stage? It's like, oh yeah, I did. Completely forgot about that. Here, let me. I'll deal with you later, sir. And I'll just bail out the back door or something.
So what else? So obviously with COVID, you guys haven't been playing any shows. I'm assuming that gave you an opportunity to become more creative. And I'm also assuming, I'm just doing a lot of assuming here, but I'm assuming that because of COVID, you also haven't been doing as many photo shoots as you probably normally would. Has that given you the chance to actually get through and like start writing more music? And do you have, the year kind of planned out for music, or what does that look like for the band?
I think it looks optimistic, more or less, I guess. But since with COVID and everything, it's really kind of hard to tell, because I started kind of going through everything like around like October, and kind of like looking at everything. Like, I got to revamp everything. I want to start writing. I want to get back to how it was like a year ago from October. So which is like 2019, 2018. And like, I was literally in love with music. I would do everything I can just to try to get to the next show, or, hey, like I got to buy this amp to make it sound better for people to see. But right now I'm really not sure what's coming up for the future, but I'd love to crank out more music just because I want to get back to it. It's probably one of the best passions and most fulfilling things that I could ever do, because literally when people just buy our shirts, it's one of the coolest things to see is them wearing your shirt. It's super cool, because they go out and they reach out on a limb, they purchase your stuff, they support you, and they post their picture of that they don't have to do. And it's just super cool just to be in, like, just to entertain people.
Yeah.
Well, let's do signature question numero dos while we apparently play with the lights some more.
Okay. All right, Ted. Signature question numero dos is a little bit trickier. So if you need to take a second to answer this one, that's okay.
Okay. Shoot.
All right. Signature question number 2. If you had a life quote, what would it be? And again, take all the time you need.
Life quote. Is that like from like a movie, or just to say anything?
Whatever like kind of gets you through the day or motivates you, or like if you're starting a project or something, just it could be a something, an author or a movie, whatever gets you the day.
We've gotten like funny ones, serious ones, inspirational, like Bible verses, stuff like that. Like, we've gotten so many different kinds of life quotes, and honestly, people say like usually just whatever first pops into their head.
I think the first thing that popped in my head when you guys said like give a quote is like the one that I've been just living by really is, have you guys familiar with the movie Airplane?
A little bit.
Well, it's a scene in there, and he's just like, it's like, good luck, we're all counting on you, and just that's pretty much it.
That's perfect.
That is actually a really good one, especially in a band environment. We're all counting on you.
Yeah, it's just I just see it more or less on my end, because I got to create. It's just I got to create as much as I can, and it feels like everybody's counting on it. So it's just more or less an entertainment industry sort of thing.
It's been hard this year, and I feel like especially everyone, like everyone's at home. Everybody is looking for new things, new content to consume. That's a weird way to put it, but like,
it's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah,
it's an insider way to putting it.
Everybody's looking for new things to listen to, new things to watch, new things to read, and simultaneously, like, all the industries are shut down and everybody's depressed. And so, I know for myself, like, I feel like there's two sides of people. There are the people who took the extra time that they had during quarantine to create and to write and to make new music and things like that. And then there are the people who were like, it affected them and it hit them so hard that they weren't even able to do anything. Like the most that they could manage to do is just get through their day. And I kind of felt like I was in the second category, but it seems like you guys have been just like continuously pushing through that, how easy it is to get depressed. Like you guys have just been pushing through that and making more and being there for the fans and for the people who need music to listen to.
Yeah, there's like so much out there. But I got to say that I was probably in the second category too, probably when COVID first hit, and then pretty much everything stripped away from you because we had like so many bands that we wanted to go see, and there were so many things I wanted to do, and all that's pretty much just taken from you. But yeah. I guess like I don't want to say I kind of got tired of sitting around, but I got tired of sitting around, and I wanted to get back to what I was doing because like you can't just like sit there and do nothing. I wanted to always just create as much as I can, regardless if it's photos or videos or music or just playing. I guess I'm naturally creative that way, but I just wanted to do something, and that if that's entertaining, that's the way I got to go.
Yeah.
Now, is there something that like maybe in the last year that you learned about yourself through the process of being forced to not go out and do what you love to do, that you'll look back at maybe in 10 years and be like, oh man, I'm like that year sucked, but I'm kind of glad I went through that because I learned this thing about me. Is there anything like that you can share with us?
I think I learned I'm really kind of driven more or less on what I want to do. If I see something or if I want to get something, I got to do it. I can't just sit around and do nothing. Like I really have to forcefully get what I want out of my creative brain, I guess. But I'm really glad I found that out this past year, because if I would have just continued doing what I was doing normally, it wouldn't have been healthy for me. So I guess I learned actually a lot about myself during this past year, and it's really, really cool because I got to get really back into music, like a completely brand new drive into it. And I found a lot of new passions that I like to do and follow through with.
Anything that you are comfortable sharing with us that you like a new passion of yours that you found that you'd like to share?
Well, I picked up photography not too long ago. So you guys were probably actually one of my first people that I worked with, but I really wouldn't work with people because it's kind of weird and funny that like you're a musician, but you're kind of terrified of people. But
amen.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing because you can talk and you could sing in front of a crowd, but when you're on one-on-ones, it's kind of really nerve-wracking because it feels like more or less they judge you, or you're kind of one-on-one, so there's really no escape. You're not entertaining. They're really kind of focused on what you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's so interesting. Like I feel for myself personally, singing is so much easier than talking.
Yeah. I'm not a public speaker at all. I can't do that. I stutter way too much. Even like right now, I know you guys, but I still trip over my words just because it's like a video call. And talking to two people is a lot harder than like me singing and belting out chords just for like a lyric in a song.
Yeah, it's funny though, because I've been doing this for forever, and I feel the same way. Like I would much rather go up in front of 1,000 people and talk for 10 minutes than have a one-on-one conversation with somebody I've never met before. Although I don't get, and I don't know if Moxy would agree with this, but I feel like I tell people, like, listen, I like talking to people if there's a lot of people. When it's one-on-one, it's intimidating for me because I never know when to stop talking. But two, it's like there's this different dynamic when it is one-on-one because I think you're more vulnerable.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And when there's a crowd of people, the likelihood of them catching you off guard is very unlikely because there's dozens or hundreds of people or thousands of people there. And if somebody in the back shouts, play an Alter Bridge song, you're probably not going to hear them, you know,
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
The loudest man in the world.
Right. But when it's one-on-one, they come up to you and they go, "Why didn't you play an Alter Bridge song?" And you're like, "Okay, I don't even know how to answer this question. Hold on. What's going on? Who are you? Am I
How did you get in my house?"
Yeah.
I've been asking the same question every day.
Yeah, it's hard. I definitely had an interesting introduction into society. This is a weird way to talk.
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. Okay, Ted, I was homeschooled, so I didn't get much social interaction before I started a band. And the way I learned to interact with people is like, "Hey, thank you so much for coming to the show. Wow, it's so great to see you again. I'm going to go wrap some cables. Bye." And so I wasn't able to really talk to people or figure out how to do that outside of just like a very shallow conversation. It's hard to communicate with people and to connect with people at shows, you know?
Yeah, it's just because like when you're in front of a crowd, I guess it's like kind of talking to a wall, because when those lights are on, they're mainly focused at you, so you only see the lights and you see the shadows. But when it's one-on-one, I don't know how to talk to people. Like I put on a good sort of like face and know how to like work my way through and feel it very enthusiastic to keep them interested. But like really on my end, I'm still kind of nervous because I guess I have like that social anxiety, I guess, when it comes to talking to people. So even when I first started in a band, like I didn't really know how to sing or how to get there in front of people. So it's just, here's what I see other bands do. Let me just copy what they do and hope for the best. And so far it's worked out pretty well. But yeah.
It seems like it.
It's interesting for me to see how everyone kind of interacts with different people. And I feel like especially after shows, and I think the more prominent of a public figure you are, the more this becomes an issue. And I feel like I feel like part of the anxiety comes with you don't know what that person's expectation is.
Exactly. Yeah. It's their expectation of what they want you to be, but hopefully that you fulfill it rather than I don't want to let them down.
Yeah. And I think part of it too is like, so, you know, for me, whenever I approach somebody after a show, usually it's more of a like, "Hey, great job. Would love to talk to you at some point about coming on a podcast. You know, how can I support your music?" And that's, you know, usually how it is. But if there's a super fan, they're going to want to talk to you and know your favorite color and this and that. And you're just like, "Dude, I just got off stage. I'm hungry, tired, thirsty, you know, like I'll take a picture with you, like let's say hi, and then like move on to the next." So it's interesting. And I feel kind of bad for musicians in particular, because I feel like the expectation to make everybody's night is so much higher for musicians than it is for somebody like me, because I just, nobody cares about me.
I don't think so that much, but
sad.
I mean, nobody cares about podcasters is what I'm saying. You know, like there isn't really an expectation. Well, I guess there's a certain level of like, they know your conversation style, so they can tell if you're not really having a genuine conversation with them or not. But you know, this is a good time for us to jump into social question number 3. Or number 2? Number 3. Number 3. Moxy, take it away.
Wow, that was just amazing.
Hey, we're a little rusty right now.
That's okay. Yeah, as long as you're Ted, are you okay with us? Are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Go for it.
Awesome.
Ted's like, no. He's like, "No, I don't like you guys anymore. Please stop calling me."
Where's the off button?
You know, dude, I've been asking myself that same question.
I was literally going to say, I've been asking that question for years.
I never know when to stop, man.
Okay. Signature question number 3. Can you have more than one best friend?
Outside of your significant other and family?
Oh, I think so. I think that would work in the right circumstances, because you probably have like, I guess you have like work best friends, and then like your actual best friends, and then like your colleagues and bands and other people that you hang with. I guess that would sort of fall in that category. Yeah, I guess you could have multiple best friends, but really you always just have one.
See, now he's hedging his bet. He's hedging his bet now. So, because I don't really know where that landed.
I want to go with what he said, which is yes.
But then he said at the end, you really only have one best friend.
Really, who does it really usually fall on? Because who do you tell all your major problems to? Do you just tell different people, or do you just tell anybody, or just you tell that one person?
That's true.
This is the whole debate. This is honestly, we've been having this debate, and I feel like I was finally getting some like traction in the last season, and now we're kind of back to square one.
Well, okay, because that's a great distinctifier words. I tell my problems and like everyday things and funny stuff, and I talk to multiple people on a daily basis. And I don't have just like the one person who I share things with. Ruben, what about you?
No, I'm in the camp of one best friend, one person that helps you get through the goods and the highs and the lows. And there's other people who are really good friends, and you have like friends and stuff. But I think there's a tier. There's like a pyramid scheme of friendship.
Yeah, because when you hear like great news, who do you tell first?
Exactly. Who's the first person you call when you find out you're having a baby? Who's the first person you're going to call?
Your husband.
Best friend. Well, outside that.
But that's what
Ruben, who's the first person you're going to call when you find out you're having a baby?
Well, I think the first person I'm going to call when I find out I'm having a baby is a lawyer.
Maybe a doctor.
Maybe.
Yeah. A doctor. How is this possible?
That makes more sense. Be like Dwight.
Yeah.
So final answer. Can you have more than one best friend?
I'm more or less leaning on no then. I'd say a no. Number one.
You just earned your me downloading the rest of your guys' catalog.
Got two songs instead of just the one.
Yeah, well, you have quite a few songs on the on Apple Music. You guys have an AC/DC cover and a couple others, don't you?
Oh no, that Shoot the Thrill one. That's actually one of our own.
Oh,
Yeah, do your research, Ruben.
It's nowhere in my research.
Yeah, a lot of people get that one mixed up for some reason. A lot of our songs are titled the same as other bands' songs, so it's a very common misconception, really. So it's more or less on our end rather than your guys'.
Hey man, whatever works, man. Whatever works. What we're gonna do right now, here in just a second, after Ted plugs his social media, is we are going to sign off, and we are going to do an overtime segment. This segment is for our premium subscribers, so make sure to head over to dollarinthejar.com and sign up for one of our top tiers to get this extra bonus ad-free content. So in the meantime, Ted, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, where they can download your music and all that fun stuff.
Pretty much for I'll give the band first. The band is Electric Hound Band on Instagram, and you can usually look up I put words again. You can look up Electric Hound on Google, electrichoundband.com. That's our official site, and through there you'll be able to find the landing page and be able to link to everything. But for my personal one, it's usually just Ted Cendejas across everything as well. You'll be able to find me and hunt me down, but hopefully not actually hunt me down.
Go and download the new single out right now. It's called Dance of the Dogs. Super excited for that song, man. I really love it, dude. If I worked out, man, I would listen to that song on the treadmill every day.
Oh, I added it to my running playlist immediately.
That's funny because like that song's like on so many workout playlists. I don't even know why it just jumped to workouts right away. It's not even like hard rock or anything else like that. It just jumped straight to like, hey, it's a workout playlist. So,
huh? Is it? I wonder what's the BPM? Do you know?
I think it's a 153.
That might be why. There are some. I've found some of my music on like running playlists or workout playlists and stuff, and it has to do with like the beat of it, I think.
Huh, yeah, probably just to keep your heart rate up.
Yeah. I like certain tempoed songs because I can just like when I'm running, I don't like to run. So when I'm running, I like songs that have a certain beat that like falls with my footsteps so I can push myself to keep going at that speed.
Yeah, so dot, 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 dot,
yeah.
Just basically to keep going. I think I do the same thing.
Yeah.
When I get a chance to run.
Yeah.
The only time I run is when I hear the ice cream man coming. And with that, we'll be back with more of the podcast. And of course, head over to the dollarinthejar.com, sign up for our top tier premium memberships, and you'll get the overtime segment. Stand by. Wow, that was such an incredible conversation with Ted Cendejas.
You're the Mexican man. I don't know.
Actually, I have to look at it. I actually have to look at it because it I think it's just Ted Cendejas. Ted Cendejas. Ted, please tell us if I'm saying your name wrong because that was a great conversation, Moxy. I am super excited that people hopefully they get inspired by that and realize that while we are hopefully in the final days of these lockdowns, that there's still time to be productive, still time for everybody to go out, make some music, write a book, or just start a new project. It's really, really important, I think, for everybody to take that one step forward into, making progress into a project. And a lot of times just starting is good enough.
Yeah, seriously. And I think the thing that I loved most about that conversation with Ted is that we have such a tendency, and this is totally different from what you're saying. I 100% agree. My biggest takeaway from that conversation was it is just so cool to get to humanize creators, musicians, photographers, people who we really look up to, who some of us aspire to be like Ted, and probably a lot of people who listen to Electric Hound's music, like they probably really idolize him. And just getting to converse with Ted, to talk about how difficult it is to talk to people, musicians are real people. And I think that conversation we had with him was really wonderful. It was so good. And I just hope that you really enjoy this episode as much as we did.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And I know that we have been talking about Clubhouse the last couple of weeks. If you are on Clubhouse, feel free to look us up on Clubhouse. Come join us. Come hang out with us. It's a great interactive app. And I know Moxy has a couple invites that she might be willing to part ways with. I'm being very selective with my invites.
I do have a couple of invites left. So if you are looking to get on Clubhouse, just reach out to me, message me on Instagram at Moxy and Music or on Facebook. And Clubhouse is really fun. Ruben likes it more than I do because Ruben likes people more. But I have been able to learn quite a bit, and it's really cool. Ruben, why are you selective with your invites?
Because I want to make sure
it's not good enough for you.
No, it's not that. I just here's the thing. I feel like there's people out there who will open an account and then never use it. I want to make sure it's going to somebody who's going to be active and using it, and will be giving back to the community as much as they take out of it. And I kind of regret giving you an invite because so far you haven't.
I mean, I'm not on it like every single day like you are, but
I also feel like I have more time to be on it throughout the day because I'm literally just driving from store to store.
Yeah,
a day-to-day job. I'm
on the phone all day for my job. So
yeah, you don't really have. I literally there'll be times where I'm driving 40 minutes to the next store. So it's like, I'll just jump on Clubhouse, or listen to a podcast or something. So
yeah.
So before we jump into the final minutes of this show, I do want to give a shout out to our executive producer honorary. His name is Richard Sanchez. Thank you, Richard, so much for supporting the show. We really appreciate both your moral support and your monetary supports. And so I need to do something real quick before I just forgot that I had to do something. I just forgot.
Richard,
I just remembered.
Richard, let me just tell you all the work that Ruben made me put into making our dollarinthejar.com website. It is now paid off because you signed up. So thank you so much. Seriously. When we decided to make a Patreon-esque account, when we decided to do something like this, I had a lot of doubt. I didn't think that anybody would like us so much that they would be willing to support us. I still truly don't believe that you like us that much, but thank you.
I think he likes you enough that he was willing to to pay a couple of bucks to get his name, shouted out at the end of the episodes, as well as his name on the screen. So, Richard, we appreciate your help. I've known you for years, and you've always been supportive. So I really appreciate you putting that into a monetary amount as well. If you would like your name to be part of the Executive Producer Club, or even just support us in any other way possible, head over to $1inthejar.com. Good one. And sign up for a membership. By the way, we do have a special right now. If you sign up for an annual membership of the ones that are available, you're going to save, I believe it's 40% or 20%, whatever it is. You're basically getting 2 months free.
That's awesome. I mean, for them, not for us.
Yeah, for them. It's a great deal. So head over to $1inthejar.com and join the fun. So I'm going to leave Richard's name up for the rest of the episode. We don't have too much longer left in it, but I'm going to leave it up because he is our executive producer honorary of this week's episode. And of course, if you sign up, you will also be an executive producer if you sign up for that particular package. So did we decide which quote we're going to do?
You decide. You're the executive producer, man.
You go.
All right. So our one last thought for this week comes from JP Morgan.
JP Morgan.
Yeah.
He has a lot of money.
What?
He said he has a lot of money.
You like people who have a lot of money, don't you?
I do.
So it comes from JP Morgan. And the quote is, "The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are." And that quote really resonated with me. I think I like it personally because it is hard for me to get somewhere new. It's hard to feel like you're making change. It's hard to get out of what you've already established. And, I love like that first step mentality. For me, I have trouble taking a first step to do anything. And I've decided to just like make that my focus. I think I've told Ruben, I've told you before, like, I don't make my mission to get to the gym and kick butt. I just make it to get to the gym. Like the first step for me for a long time was putting on a sports bra. Like that was what it took for me to commit. But like in order to get to the gym, I had to get over that hurdle and I had to get there. And so I love that first step mentality. And I love that, like, make that change.
Is it weird that for a long time, one of my goals was also to put on a sports bra?
That is definitely weird.
Is it weirder that I've actually accomplished that goal?
We're going to need to talk about this off air.
Well, hey, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. Before we go, we do have some overtime that we are going to be jumping into for those of you who are subscribers at
$1inthejar.com.
We are going to be putting these out, by the way, probably Wednesday or Thursday night after the podcast. So it's something for you guys to look forward to once you are subscribed. Also, one thing that you should know is that if you do get, I forgot what level it is. Maybe Moxy can bring it up. There's a level that will get you into a quarterly concert with Moxy Ann, where she'll be performing some of her original music, some covers, some fun stuff. So make sure to jump on that. You have to be a member for at least 2 months to get that.
You do.
And we're also doing Skype sessions with people on different levels. So we will be setting up a date for that very, very soon for the month of February. So there's a lot of stuff that I think you guys are really going to enjoy if you sign up over at
$1inthejar.com.
Ooh, look at that. Right on time.
Thank you. I'm getting better at it. Yeah, if you go sign up for the Best Friend Club, you will get access to that quarterly live stream. And I also want to ask you guys, if you're over in our Life, Friendship, and Tacos Facebook group, I will be asking some of the people in that group what songs I should sing, what kind of music I should do, what they want to hear. So that is double motivation. Not only should you go sign up for the Best Friend Club on $1inthejar.com, it's $10 a month, super easy. Go and join our Facebook group because you're going to get access to providing input on some very critical decisions for the next 3 months of my life.
And just throwing this out there, We do have the Best Friend Club annual membership. If you get the regular membership, it's $10 a month, which ends up being about $120 a year. If you get the annual membership, it's $100. You're saving $20. That's 2 months free.
And you get so much more.
You get so much more. And there's some stuff that we haven't even announced yet that you will get just for signing up that we're still working on. So $1inthejar.com. Did you just joke?
Oh, no, I was coughing. I try to mute my mic when I'm coughing because I'm still a little sick.
Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and all that fun stuff. I'm at the Ruben Jay.
And I'm at Moxy and Music.
The podcast is at Best Friend Podcast on Instagram and the Best Friend Show on Facebook. My name is Ruben Jay.
And I'm Moxy Ann.
And we
are out of time. I did it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Stand by. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of You're My Best Friend. Be sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. The executive producer and editor of the show is, well, me, Ruben Jay. Social media strategy and guest relations is done by Moxy Ann. Music is brought to you by Benstown Branding. Be sure to follow You're My Best Friend on Instagram by going to @BestFriendPodcast. And on Facebook by going to facebook.com/The Best Friend Show. And you can support the show by putting a $1inthejar.com. You're My Best Friend is a MultiMediaMouth.com production in association with Music and the Influence LLC. Copyright 2021.